Hello everyone, and thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean the Vaping Biker, and it's finally time for another vlog. I think I missed one out last week again, but yeah, things beyond my control, couldn't do anything about that. It happens, never mind, hey. Now then, hopefully we've enjoyed the videos that I put out over the last few days, and we'll go into those in a little bit. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about today, because there is going to be quite a lot to go through. Yeah, I'm not even going to try. This is not going to be one of the short ones. This is not going to be under half an hour at all. So, yeah, that's one of them things. Now then, we've got, we'll have a little look at the videos I've released. We've got some news. Yeah, some interesting stuff to talk about there, which kind of, I mean, it's not really advocacy as such, because there's not a great deal that you can do about it, but just, you know, what's going on in the wider world of vaping. We've also got a little bit of information on the tax in the UK. After that, we've got a whole bunch of new equipment to show you, which I'm quite excited about. And I'm also going to have a little bit of a chat about juices that I've been enjoying and all that sort of good stuff as well. I really should stop hitting my desk with my wedding ring and try and get words out. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Right. Look, I've got a new... Oh, shit, me. I've got a new thing. Look. Oh, look, I've got a new handle for my up-close camera. Oh, it's very exciting. Yes, right. Stop playing with toys. Stay on track. Stay focused, Dean. Stay focused. Right, let's get into it then, shall we? Let's have a little look at the videos. Whilst I've got my vlog notes up, I haven't got my YouTube up. Bell end. So let's have a look about what we've put out. I don't think I haven't put out a great deal, unfortunately. That's been a health thing. I'll mention that at the end. No one needs to know. No one cares. So let's have a look. So since we did the last vlog, we did the cough review, the cough RDTA, which was this little puppy that was on the limelight. Now, during that review, quite a lot of people highlighted the fact in the comments that the posts, where you connect the posts on the top, they do seem to be bent up. And now I look at it, they do indeed. However, I have built this a few times since the review, and they don't seem to be bent anymore. And I think more than anything, the reason for that would have been when I was putting some Claptons in it or something like that. When I was doing the original testing phase, I was wrenching the fuck out of them to get them down there. And that, you know, that's one of those things that obviously you shouldn't really have to do. And it's just me being a knobhead. So I'm not going to blame the cough for the slight bend on those posts. I'm going to blame me wrenching it down, because I mean, I also use my big old Allen key with a big old handle on it, which possibly is not the best if you're trying to be delicate. But yeah, so the thing is, it's not got any worse. It's still been used, and it's been fine and dandy. So that happened. Then after that, we had the raffle results. So thanks once again to everybody that got involved with that one. We raised a great amount of money for the Leah Wilby Foundation, and I know Richard was very, very happy and you know, very emotional about the whole thing as well. So that was awesome. So thank you once again. I believe the winner, Brad, I think it was Brad, has received all his winnings and is happy with those now, so that's great. After that, I've got a few bits of test footage that I've done. After that, not for public consumption, so I'm trying to get rid of them. After that, we did the Goon LP, the Goon Low Pro. Now, that was one that... and I think most people kind of got where I was going with that review, in as much as, yeah, it might be okay if you do the right size coil in the right size place, and, you know, and it's positioned in the right bit and all that sort of stuff. But the big thing for me was, you know, when I want an RDA, I don't want to be restricted to building it in just one way. You know, I like variety. I like being able to put a bunch of different things. If I want small coils or big coils or wide coils or thin coils, I like that availability to be able to do that. And unfortunately for me, the posts in the middle of that Goon LP were just excessive and unnecessary, and also the air holes were just too high. If those air holes had been brought down by a few mil, then that may have made it a much easier bit of kit to work with, in my opinion. After that, we did the Rouleau RX300 and the Row tank, and yeah, what a beast that is. Huh? Have you got one? Have you? It's fucking huge, isn't it? But it is a cracker. It's one of those mods that I'm going to keep for a long time just because of the battery life on it, the power on it. It's a brilliant desk mod, but at the same time, if you're going somewhere where you do need a lot of power, I mean, that's going to be brilliant for taking to events and all that sort of stuff where I'm going to be walking around all day and I can vape away at 100 watts and not have to worry about battery life at all. So that sort of thing makes me really, really happy. So hope you enjoyed that. Now, annoyingly, when I did that, the up close section, when I recorded it, I'd got my exposure right and it was all great and gravy, and I was really proud of it. And then I rendered it and I saved it and I banged it up on YouTube, and once it got up on YouTube, I realised that the up close section looked shit. And what had happened there is when I'd rendered it, I rendered it in the wrong format. And obviously by the time I'd noticed, because I didn't check it once I'd saved it, by the time I noticed, it was just not looking too clever at all. So yeah, I was almost going to take that one down and redo it. But I thought, no, fuck it. It'll stay there. It had a fair amount of views, so it'll stay there. Then after that, we did the Skill RDA. Now, this one, I got a little bit better with my exposure and my white background and everything else for the up close. So I think I was quite pleased with that, to be honest with you. I'm not going to be using the white background on all my up close sections, but it's just nice to be able to, it's a challenge for me to be able to get that kind of real bright exposure, real kind of vibrant sort of background, and then be able to really see exactly what's going on with whatever I'm showing you. And so that for me was a sort of one of these little personal challenges. I'm really getting into the kind of the videography / photography side of things, and learning what I can do with the kit that I've got, because obviously I'm not going to go out, I haven't got the ability to go out and buy, you know, super mega posh, mega expensive cameras. So with what I have got, I'm learning really, really hard to make it as good as I possibly can for you guys. Now then, with that Skill RDA, I've still got it sitting on top of this little Minikin here, and I still think it is an absolute corker of an RDA. I've been really, really happy with it. Can't get the top off. The only thing that has been a frustration, and I mentioned it in the review as well, is just the tight O-rings, and they are so tight, so damn tight. But like I also said in the review, it's better to have them too tight than not tight enough. And at the same time as well, if I had both hands working as per the norm, then I probably wouldn't be having so much of a hoo-ha about it. So that's why I didn't really make a big thing of it. But let's have a little vapey poos on here. I've just dribbled a bunch of juice down here. That's bloody marvellous. Bloody marvellous. Now that I am using this, is that going to focus? No. There we go. Oh, focused. There we go. This is Hooch. This is the mango strawberry flavour from Vapetasia, and yeah, I'm still surprised that I like that. I went through the other bottle fairly sharpish, and I'm still surprised I like it because it's mango, and as I've said before, mango to me means feet. So normally I don't like mango flavours, but that is really nice. I'll talk about juices at the end. I'm getting sidetracked again, people. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm going to try and keep it on the on focus. So yes, the Skill RDA, great amount of views. Thank you very much for everyone that's watched it. I really like it. Vapors MD has done a marvellous job designing it and working with Twisted Messes, getting all the engineering done and all that sort of stuff. I think it's a really good RDA. I think it's great flavour, great clouds. It works, and it's so simple. It's so simple, and you can build scaffold poles if you want. You can build fuck off great coils, and they get in there brilliant, which is, you know, a winner. And that's it. That's all the videos that I've done that I can talk about, which blows a little bit. But, you know, unfortunately, things have been beyond my control, like I said. So, yeah, so that's the videos that I've released. Now then, we've got a couple of updates. Sorry if I keep looking over here. I really want to try and get as much in as I can. And if I try and remember this stuff, you got fucking no chance. So then, now, Asmodus. Now, those of you that have been watching for a little while may remember about this Minikin Kodama. And also, if you watch Grimm's vlogs, then he talked about his recently as well. Now then, The thing I've had with mine is I've had a bit of a resistance issue also, and I went back to Asmodus sort of fairly early on, as soon as I got this really, and said, look, this is going on, what's that all about? And in some cases it would read a resistance, although be it a very low one, without an atomizer on it. Now the answer that I've got back from Asmodus is, well, first of all, that this and one or two others that were sent out, particularly to reviewers unfortunately, were the sort of more of the prototype versions and the very first batch, and everything has been fixed thereafter. But the problem that they had with these was there was a complication with the solder to the 510, they seem to think it is, and that's soldered for the 510. I don't know whether it's just because it was awkward because it was a wooden enclosure or whatever, but yeah, because of the 510 on there, they have had a bit of a challenge with the early ones. Apparently they're telling me that has all been fixed, as you would expect for a mod that costs the money that this does. But yeah, all been fixed and funky now. They are sending me another one out. This one's going back to them, unfortunately. I really like the colours on this one. But yeah, this one's going back, and they're sending me out another one. So I did want to keep you updated with it, because you may have heard this from Grim that the resistance has been funky. So that is what they're telling me as to the reason why. Also, should I tell you about this now? Have I written it anywhere else? Yes, right. Also, now, if you saw Mark Todd's review on this, he will tell you, quite rightly, that the finish on this is a little bit, I mean, you can feel that it's wood, you know, which is no bad thing. But yeah, I mean, it's not the smoothest, because my one isn't a hybrid. There's no sort of differentiation between the resin and the wood. But you can feel that it's not rough, but it's kind of got that matte feel to it, you know. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing and showing you in this review is how I get it from this kind of finish. And I did this with the Ohmsmium. How I get, because this one was in exactly the same sort of thing, how I get this into, this isn't really coming across in camera very well, but trust me, this is a lot shinier and yeah, you can probably get a little bit more of an idea there. It's a lot shinier, a lot smoother, a lot more glassy, and a lot, you know, a fantastic texture. And that took me about 3.5 minutes. So I'm going to show you how I do all of that when I do the review on the Minikin that I get for actual review. So yeah, that's that. Stop hitting the desktop with your ring. I'm sorry, headphone users, if that's super loud, I do apologise if that gets you right in the noggin. Okay, so what else have we got? I told you about the Dice RDA, I think, in the last vlog as well. Did I? I think I did. Is that gonna... I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure I did. Yeah, I did, because I put pictures up of it. Now, this is the thing that allows you to properly stack your coils, whilst not really having any space in the post holes for any kind of big chunky coils like Claptons and all that sort of goings. Now, I've put a couple of builds in this, and I'm a bit of a loss. To be honest with you, I am at a bit of a loss. I've got 140 watts going through this at the moment. Let me just, I mean, that is well juiced, but I want to, I want to be sure, because I don't want it killing me. Yeah, the reason I'm unsure about this is, I mean, and I guess this is because like we're getting so many tanks now that have got so many multiple coils in it. But why the crap do you need 4 round wire coils in an RDA? I don't know. For me personally, I get a similar vapor production from using a decent kind of Clapton or something like that in a quality RDA. Using 4 coils just seems excessive. I mean, this has come through at 0.16 and I'm running at 140 watts. Right, let's have a, just got to open that airflow up a touch. Okay, let's have a little toot on here. And sure, that's not bad vapor production, but it's at 140 watts. It needs that much power to get power into 4 lumps of metal to get it. And I don't really. And like I say, it's producing well, but is it any better than? I don't know. Let's have a little look at the 88 watts on the skill. Not a massive amount of difference, is it? Is it worth going through all that extra battery life? And that's just 88 watts. That wasn't in focus, but at 88 watts at just about a 0.2 coil, so don't know. But I will have more of a play with it and see what I can come up with. I've seen that there are a couple of reviews out there and a couple of sort of pictures on the Vaperintown website that make the Dice RDA of people that have done some funky looking coils in it and stuff. But yeah, is it bringing anything extra to the party? I'm especially with those post holes being as small as they are that I showed you in it. I think I put a little picture up in the last vlog. I'm not really seeing the benefit at the moment, to be honest, which is why I've not got round to doing a review yet. But anyway, 15 minutes on the camera, so it's time to turn it off and turn it back on again. Hold you on a minute. And there we go. Done. So yeah, someone asked me about this because they haven't been watching for long enough to know that I do this every 15 minutes. And it's because either the camera gets too hot after 15 minutes or it hits, I think it hits like a maximum file size. So because I'm recording everything full ball bollocks on my little Canon G7X Mark II. So yeah, it's not really meant for long-term recording in just maxing out everything. But for this vlog, I'm just going to be rendering it in normal 1080, so it's not quite as pretty as it could be. But there we go. You don't care. You don't care. Right then, let's have a little look at some news things, shall we? So great to see that the Daily Mail in the UK did a what's the word? They went back basically and said, yeah, we fucked up, because they previously posted that tests have shown that the e-cigarettes are more harmful, and then they had to print a retraction to say that, well, we said that and there was no basis for saying that. There's like no tests that say that. So so that's good, and I think a bunch of other newspapers also got on board with that, which is brilliant. However, I mean, it's, you know, it's still, I think it's still challenging, because now we aren't, but the government are now playing on the idea that that vaping is going to be a gateway to tobacco, which is moronic in its idea, I believe personally. So what we had was after where are we? It was the University College of London who recently put a study out just before this Daily Mail article and said that vaping was safer by 97% because it had 97% less NNAL. And NNAL, this is where it's all going to go wrong, is a product formed after 4 methyl nitrosamino, I don't know, a whole bunch of clever stuff. I'll put the link down below. That belongs to a group of chemicals called tobacco-specific nitrosamines, TSNA. Oh yeah, we're getting all these little fucking things in now. As well as everything else that's cancer-causing is way less in vaping, which we know. We know this, but it's nice to see that another study that's got weight behind it has come out and been able to prove that, which I think is really, really good. So that's great. However, along with dripping, now if you watched Nick's vlog, Grim's vlog last Thursday, I think he had a bit of a rant on the idea that experts at Yale said that dripping was a whole fucking hoo-ha of a thing. And yeah, unfortunately now, on top of Yale, and you Americans, you really do have it. Why have I not turned my phone off on the volume? Why have I not done that? Because I'm a moron. Hold on a second. Now then, turn that off. Right, so on top of the Yale thing, University of Michigan has come up with another little joy, and I've closed down the thing. Hold you on a second. Now, the University of Michigan is just pushing that this you know, that everything's going to affect the kids and it's all going to go horribly wrong. E-cigarettes are one way to bridge tobacco. Scientists say gadgets desensitize, spelt randomly, teenagers to the dangers of smoking. So basically what they're saying is University of Michigan said did a study saying that e-cigarettes are a gateway to tobacco, which, just for fuck's sake, people, I mean, aside from the fact that there's no evidence to support that whatsoever, aside from the fact that that, you know, once you vape, why would you smoke? just something as simple as and straightforward as taste. You know, if you taste I don't know, a strawberry fucking whatever, and you're thinking that tastes lovely, why in God's name would you go, oh yeah, well I want to have a mouthful of stinking horrible nicotine? That's it. Because I don't know if you've ever tried vaping, smoking after you've, like when you were doing that initial thing when you first started vaping. Did you go back and try a cigarette? Because it tastes fucking horrible. It's not nice. So you know, just logic aside, studies aside, why do people say this? Why do people say this? I don't know. It really winds me up, but it's a thing. So sorry for you people over in the States. Apparently your people at the University of Michigan are morons as well. I'll put that down below in the or I'll put a link to that down below as well. Now then, taxation consultation. This is happening over here in the UK. The consultation ends on Thursday of this week, and this is where they're discussing the taxation on e-cigarette products. Now, it looks currently as though it's kind of predominantly focusing on e-liquid as opposed to hardware, from my understanding. And I have had a brief chat with a friend of mine in one of the supporting bodies that is sort of fighting against this, and yeah, it does appear that they are more interested in e-liquid. However, the worry is that it could be anywhere between 0 and there is a survey going on which I'll talk about, but it actually mentions going up to 50% tax, which is pretty damn scary in my opinion. Now then, there is an EU survey that's running at the moment. I think that does close tomorrow. So I will put a link down. I think it closes on Thursday. Let me just check. Doesn't say. Wankers. I think it closes on Thursday. So for that, I will put a link down below. Feel free to go and check that out. Obviously, your kind of, you know, your main focus will be the e-cigs section of it. So you've got a little sort of tick box thing going on there about what you think would be acceptable taxation and what you think isn't. But yeah, like I said, the big concern for me is they do ask a question of, assuming a hypothetical tax price increase of 20% for refill liquids used in electronic cigarettes, what would the likely reaction to the typical user of e-cigarettes be? And then the next question is, assuming a hypothetical tax-induced price increase of 50% for refill liquids used in electronic cigarettes, what would the likely reaction of the typical user of the electronic cigarettes be? Once again, which... 50%. That's a fucker, isn't it? But you know, this is how, if they do decide to go along that road, this is how they're just going to push along with the black market on e-liquid and encourage a lot more home mixers. And it's great if you're home mixing for yourself, but unfortunately I can see this creating more action for the home mixers to sell their own product, which when you've got a good one is, you know, is all right, but there's a lot of disreputable, that's the right word, isn't it? Disreputable people out there that will take full advantage of that, I'm sure. So yeah, I'll put that down below. Apologies for not letting you know about this before. However, you know, you've got kind of 36 hours to fill in the survey. Hopefully I can get this vlog up in plenty of time. Right, so that's all the dull old news stuff. Let's look at new shit, shall we? Cheers to you. Yep, Diet Coke's going to kill me. Right, crack on. Anyway, first one we do have the Aspire Nautilus 2 on top of the Zelos mod. Now then, the Nautilus 2 is a funny looking little thing. It really is. You can see that we've got this big old kind of viewing window, like portal, like you're getting a ship on the side there. And it does have a very kind of bell shape, I guess. Now then, I did have... with a ridiculous drip tip on it, which just isn't going to come off. I can't get the drip tip off. But this is the old Nautilus Mini. Right, now are we going to focus? There we go. Oh no, there we go. So yeah, I mean, we can see that there is kind of a little bit of inspiration coming from that, maybe if you squint a bit and it's a dark night and you're tired, but yeah, it's definitely a funny looking little thing. But as far as the vaping quality goes, it's really bloody good. Now, I've had the 1.8 coils in here for a very, very good mouth to lung experience, and now I've got the 0.7 coil in here that I am testing out. Now then, worryingly, the mod is reading that at 0.78, but there we go. That is 0.7, isn't it? Yes, it is. So yeah, let's have a little toot on here. Now, I was lung hitting that because I've got the air fully open and yeah, all that sort of malarkey. And monster 15.5 watts. Now, the mod itself has got an integral battery. It does the little thing that they've been doing recently with the flippy uppy over screen, which I think is nice. It's a nice to have that for sure. The mod seems to be performing excellently, and obviously vaping at really low wattages where this is designed, it seems to be working rather well. The Nautilus tank, I think, is going to be one of those things where, or the Nautilus 2 rather, is going to be one of those things where you either love it or hate it. But I mean, it can also grow on you a little bit. Obviously, you've got a great amount of protection there, which is brilliant. But the biggest issue that I've got with this is you have to take the whole thing out. It's still a top fill. Well, I say still, it is a top fill, but yeah, it's a funky one because you have to take that entire cage off. Let me see if I can grip hold of this. Where's my vape rag? Where's my vape rag? You have to take the entire cage off because the bung that stops the top of the tank is inside there, and because of that, you don't get the option on making or having sort of extra cages. So if you don't like the sort of the bell shape, you can't take that off and be gone with it, you know. So that's the inside of the bell, so to speak. Hopefully that's focusing enough to be able to see that. And there's the bung up the top there, which means that the tank. Oh God, get up there! The tank is very much like this. So you know it's. I did ask Aspire if they are planning on releasing some different sort of top sections for it, maybe with a clear glass or maybe with some different kind of designs going on, so you don't have that big kind of round window in the side there, because I think that is going to put some people off, unfortunately. However, they've told me that whilst they have no plans to move forward with that at the moment, they are going to take it forward to their technical team. That was the answer that I got. Whether that's going to help anyone in any way, shape or form, who the fuck knows. You can get a little bit of gurgle once you put the top on there. You may have heard that, but you can vape through it or blow it out as per the usual coils. Now, one of the things I noticed was this drip tip is a funny looking bugger, but it's actually really comfortable in the mouth when you're doing mouth to lung stuff. And once again, I think that's something else that some people are a little bit put off about, but I really like it. Yep, feels nice. Feels bloody nice. Now then, what else we got? Tell you what, we're only at 12 minutes at this section, but I'm going to turn the camera off and turn it on again, just so I don't have to do it in another 4 minutes when you can guarantee I'm going to forget. Be right back. There we go, back again. Now then, next new stuff in. Now then, I told you before that I'm going to be doing a review on the more mouth to lungs kind of things. So the Nobaconists sent me through this Digiflavor Siren, because I think Phil Basardo has a lot of love for the Siren, and I've been having a jolly good time with that tank. Whoops-a-daisy. I bought a K-Fun 5 with the sort of the mouth to lung kind of adapters in there, so that's pootling on through. And now what the fuck have I done with it? Now I have the Hurricane V2, thanks to Zap e-cigs in the UK. Now I have got the bell cap on there at the moment just because I am just because I wanted to play with it, really. But it's very, very much like the Hurricane Junior that I reviewed a little while ago, although probably with a little bit more airflow with this kind of cap on. But it looks glorious, doesn't it? That's on top of the LostVape E Petite from Vape Geek in the UK. They sent me that. This is coming up for review very, very shortly. But yeah, the actual the top part for the Hurricane, which is there, is a big old bugger. If you've seen my Instagram or Facebook or anything of those sort of things, you'll have seen pictures of it. But no, I had to build it with one hand, which, you know, how nice is that? I couldn't open the juice flow on the K-Fun 5 with one hand. But yeah, I was able to fully build the Hurricane V2 with one hand, which I'm quite pleased about. But the reason I've got it is now we have a massive spectrum. We've got the nice and cheap kind of Siren. We've got the £100 thereabouts K-Fun, and then we've got the £175 V2. I think it's £175. It's £175. So it's a fair chunk, isn't it? Let's have a little look. But yeah, the V2 is not cheap at all, but I've got to say, I am super impressed with how it's been made thus far. £175. And in that £175, you do get a bell cap, you do get a bunch of reducers for the deck, and all that sort of good stuff. So this weekend, I will be mouth to lung in this, but I have just been testing the crap out of it because I've tested the other two quite a lot to this point. So I'm going to go back to getting the same build in here as I've got in the other two, and then we're going to have a little shootout over the course of a week of the 3 tanks, because I wanted to support you mouth to lungers out there, because I know there is quite a few of you. However, like I say, at the moment I'm rocking this at 33.3 watts with a cheeky 0.63 build in there. 0.63. Look at that. Is that going to focus? 0.63 from the Vaping Biker. Get that fucker up here. And I've got to say, it's quite nice. From a high-end tank, getting some clouds. Not the quietest, to be fair. It's not the quietest tank, but flavour on it is lovely. I love the look of it with the bell cap. I'm quite a fan of the look of it with the regular cap, to be honest with you. But yeah, anyway, I will be telling you much more about this, as well as the other 2 tanks, in the very near future. Once again, I'll put all the links down below, so you get to have a little look at stuff. What have I done with my notes? Where are they? Here they are. Found them. Calm down. So yes, that's gravy. Now then, what else have we got? Well, Geekvape have been at it again, bless them. So this came through today, and I've not built it yet. I don't know if I should build it for this vlog or not. I don't know. I'll have a think about this while we go through this new section. Now then, this is the Medusa RDTA. Lock in there. This is it's not an RDA at all. I'm lying to you. It's an RDTA. Now, they're calling it an RDTA because there's a little gadget here somewhere. Hold you 1 second. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Now, when you separate... Hang on, let me get these on here. When you separate these 2 tanks, or the 2 sections, that section there has a really big, thick, sort of beastie wall to it. And the reason for that is because this is the deck. Now, are we going to focus? There's the deck right there, and you can see that there is a tank capacity underneath there. So that apparently is a 3mm tank capacity underneath that build deck. And so what happens is the inside of this top piece sort of goes over the top of your coils and your wick and all that sort of good stuff, and then I think it will stop it coming up through the sides, because I mean, when you looked at the when you look at that section there, it looks as though, come on, focus, it looks as though there'll be a whole mess of juice that'll just come up all over the place. But I don't think it's going to. I think, well, I say I don't think it's going to. I don't know. Let's have a little think and see if we're going to build that and give you a quick first impression while we're vlogging. So yeah, that's new from those guys. I've also got the GS 100, the squonker, coming from those. That should be with me anytime now as well. Now then, as well as that new in, we have the LostVape Drone. Now, anyone like me that likes squonking, that sees all the benefits of squonking, that really likes the Crichton or the larger atomizers, I guess if you've got a large goon, 24mm goon or whatever else, and you're pissed off with having to use single battery mods, then LostVape have been at it again. They've come up with this badge, but that's bad boy, can't even talk like shiny, isn't it? This is, look, squonk bottle. This is a kind of a halcyon, triad-y kind of shape, but it is a little bit bigger than the triad, which I can show you right now. Ow. There we go. So that's about the same base height there, and you can see that this is a little bit taller, and it is just, you know, a little tiny bit, well, pretty much the same, but no, maybe a scooch bigger on the width wise, but it is a little bit taller. And it means that we have a DNA 166 or DNA 177, whatever they are, squonker, which is freaking marvellous. I'm going to have a vape on this because I'm a little bit excited. Now then, there was lots of people using these as well as the rouleaus. I say lots, a few people using these in the rouleaus and rejigging them and making it so it's squonkable, but had the squonk bottle on the outside there, which was fine, but obviously it'd mean you'd have to remove the squonk bottle to be able to get to your batteries, which, as we found out on a previous mod, is a bit of a pain in the arse. What they've done now is they've got the squonk bottle fully accessible on one side, and then on the other side they've got the batteries fully accessible as well, which is great. Now then, one of the other things about these is the batteries are placed in a parallel configuration, so positive facing up on both of them. However, that is still obviously running in series, because it wouldn't power the chip or the board otherwise. So yeah, so it's still running like a good one there, but yeah, it's just wired underneath. Now I'm checking with LostVape because I think they've done that so it minimises the risk of putting batteries in upside down, at the same time as it may help with the balance charging as well, because I've got a feeling this will balance charge up to like 2 amps. So I will find out more and let you know, but this has only just come in today. I think it's really fucking good. Obviously, I'm running the Crichton on top of there at the moment. I think it looks great. I've taken the Ultim cap off the Crichton. Actually, Cyclone Mods, don't know if I told you, but Cyclone sent me all of the like the Ultim caps and the clear caps and all that sort of stuff for the Crichton, and it looks a tits. It really does. But yeah, I'll put the black tip back on now for the time being, just because I think it kind of is a little bit more matchy with the mod in that respect. But yeah, nice and shiny, super simple design, and as if it couldn't get any better, hold on a second. Right, look at that. Look at it. The 510 smack bang wallop in the middle there, so you can put some dirty great big atomizers on the top of there if you want to. And to give you an indication of that, the Aromomizer Plus, look, space all around the Aromomizer Plus. So if you're not squonking on it, you've got central mounted dual battery, big bad boy space for putting your big bad boy RDAs and RDTAs. How good is that? So yes, I'm very, very happy with it. Very happy with it. Obviously, it's going to have a fuck ton of testing. I want to make sure that everything is the way it should be, that there's no leakage, that there's no wobbliness in any way, shape or form. But no, as far as the LostVape drone goes, I think it's a corker. So thank you very much to Evolution Vaping for sending this bad boy on this morning. I believe they're going to be in stock, I don't know, anytime over the next week or two. So yeah, I'll put links down below if they've got them on their site. If not, just for Evolution Vaping. But having the ability to squonk hard, oh yes! At last, we're gonna get more of them. This 2017 is gonna have more dual battery squonkers. I really, really hope it's gonna be fucking awesome. Oh, something that I forgot to mention when I was talking about Evolution Vaping there is they're a nice little bunch of people there. So they did ask me just to let you all know that there is actually a vape meet on the 1st of April 2017 at their new store. Let's have a little look. The Vaperintown bus will be coming 2 to 6. We'll also have a marquee with free barbecue and beers. Free beers? Barbecue? Free barbecue. I reckon the beers you'll have to pay for. DJ comps, cloud comps, trick comps, raffles. The SOSK team will be in attendance along with some special guests to be confirmed. Starts at 2 PM until late. And that is Evolution Vaping, 1004 Tyburn Road, Birmingham. So if you're in that kind of area, then probably worth a check out. If I can get down there in any way, shape or form, I'll certainly be going, but I can't promise. Anyway, back to the normal vlog. Right, now then, going back, I do want to talk about juices and stuff. Going back to this Medusa shit, are you interested? I don't really do first looky things, but let's see if I can spill a load of juice all over my desk, shall we? I'm going to throw a quick build in here, but I'm going to do it off camera because I have to. Right, I'll be back in a second. We've got the build in here. It's looking ropey because the top cap tends to move things. Now I can't tip it because obviously I put juice in there, which is great. Just 12 wraps of 24 gauge stainless. Nothing to get too excited about. It's not a very pretty build, I'm afraid, but it is what it is. Now inside there, I don't know if it's showing you, but that is where the juice, I've sort of filled up this kind of bottom section here with juice, and the top cap does look quite promising in as much as it's very domed in there, so it should be a real great flavour chaser. Now if you line up the air holes with the side of your posts, you pop those on, and then that clicks down, and then you have to turn it, there we go, turn it to where the airflow hits your coils, and then that locks this top cap in. Now then, bearing in mind that I've just poured like 3 ml of juice inside there, let's have a little look and see if it leaks, shall we? Right, so here we go. And I've got the air hole facing down, and we don't appear to be leaking, so that's good. So that's doing a pretty reasonable job of that, actually. Yeah, no signs of leaking at all. Right, let's have a vape, shall we? 88.8 watts. Pretty cloudy. Flavour is okay. Stupid drip tip on the top though. That little thing there, you can get a normal little 510 drip tip down that hole if you want to though, so that you can extend that rather than it being all dinky. You don't get any other extensions for the 510 in the kit. You just get extra posts and grub screws and all that sort of good shit. Now then, so that's it. That's the Medusa RDTA. Funny bloody thing. I've put some of that pistachio gelato from the goodies line of Vapetasia. I've stuck that in. Which way up is it? Is it that way? That way, isn't it? Which is rather nice. I said last time I didn't know what gelato was. Still don't. I know a load of people said it's like an Italian ice cream that's not ice cream or jelly. I don't know. Can't remember. Well, there's a thing. So, Geekvape, I've got a little thing. I think it's about 25 mil as well, so it's quite a chunky little thing. But yeah, I don't really understand why it's a thing, but it's a thing. So that'll be going into the queue and getting a damn good testing as well. So let's get back to the vlog as per the norm, shall we? Now then, juices. I'll talk to you about the pistachio, the Royalty 2 from Vapetasia. I've just about done, which is crazy. I've just been loving that. That's been going in my mouth to lung tanks, and I've been treating myself to dripping that so I don't go through it too fast rather. And I hopefully will be getting some different juices as well coming up, not from Vapetasia, from another company, which I'm very excited about. The hype is real, people, so I'm very excited about that. Now then, I may do another mixing video. Why, you ask? Why are you going to do another mixing video, Dean? Surely you covered all of the mixing stuff in the fantastic video you did last time. I know, that's what you're thinking. However, I wasn't going to do this. I was just going to mention this in the vlog because when people ask me to taste juices or to do a sort of a mixing video or whatever else, it's very much like when people ask me to do coils. Once I've kind of done, I can't review a coil, and it's difficult for me to review e-liquid because everyone's tastes are different, and it's very if I put a coil in, I'm kind of like, yeah, it's a coil, it works great, lovely, and it's decent flavour, that's brilliant. But you know, it's very difficult so if you are a coil builder, please stop asking me to review your coils. I get it a lot. If you want me to try and use your coils and let you know what I think, sure, I'm happy to do that, but I'm not going to do an entire video just reviewing someone's aliens, because that would be silly. Back on point, Darkstar in the UK. So look at that, look. 500 ml of Aphrodite going on there. That is in its kind of steeping mode at the moment. But they also sent me a fuck ton of other stuff. And this is why I'm thinking about doing a mixing video, because now you're going to have to bear with me now because I can't lift all this up. Can I lift that? No, I can't. So what we've got which I think is great. In my mixing video previously, I used some one-shot nicotines from Flavor Art, and now Darkstar are doing a very similar thing, in as much as you can get a box like that, and this is 18 milligram 10 milliliter bottles. So yeah, I mean, I think is there 10 of them in here? No, 18 bottles of 10 mil 18 milligram that all come in like this sort of thing, so you get a whole fuck ton of bottles there. And this is the 18 milligram like one shot juice that I've used previously, but I want to see what this what this stuff is actually like. Now on top of that, they did give me a bunch They did give me a bunch of these, because these are their big bad boy like premixes. This is essentially, remember I was talking about the Bogan does his 50/50. This is kind of like a one-shot concentrate in a bottle. So what you do is you go onto the Darkstar website, which I'll put links to down below, and it'll tell you how many of these you have to add, or how much nicotine you want to add to be able to get this into however you want it. So that's just the concentrate, so you'll bang in your nick, and then you'll just top it up with your favourite VG/PG mix. Now then, on top of that, to make life even easier for you, they do these big bad boys, 85% VG, 15% PG. I think they do other ratios as well. That's 500, no, it's a litre. That's a litre. So you basically, once you've got your nick in your juice, you just top it up with your favourite base solution. Wallop, done. And that will give you 500 ml of that, which is, you know, which is crazy. This is Nemesis. I can't remember what the flavour is there. Does it say? A rich and creamy strawberry dessert flavour. This is lemon tart. Now this is cool as well, by the way, because Darkstar are doing this. So this lemon tart, a deliciously bright and flavourful, a perfectly balanced and hugely popular lemon tart flavour. Now this is actually someone's, the creator of this came up with this flavour, and you can make it yourself. I don't know if it's going to focus. I'm pretty sure it's not going to, but let's see if it does. There we go. On the bottom there, that tells you exactly what's in the flavour and percentages and everything else. But if you're not one for doing mixing yourself, you buy this, add your nick and the PG/VG base to it, and wallop, you're done. So I think that's really fucking cool. The creator of the recipe gets recognition for it and all that good stuff as well. But no, I have a fuck ton of stuff from Darkstar. Their nicotine has a good reputation in the UK anyway, so I'm going to be using that a lot. But I think I might do another mixing video just to show you how this sort of stuff works and the sort of percentages I use on that, because to be able to get, I mean, how much does this cost? Let's have a look. Let's have a look, shall we? I am over 18. Here we go. Right, bottle shots. Bottle shots. So to get one of these, what flavour is this? This is the lemon tart one. I think they're all the same flavour pretty much. No, they're not. No, that's the lemon tart one. That other one that I showed you, Nemesis, which is the strawberry one. Stay with me, stay with me. There it is. Oh yeah, this one's $8.99. I think, no, hang on. 500 ml, $15.99 for that concentrate right there. So then you'd want to go out and buy your base mix, wouldn't you? So let's have a look and see how much the base mix is. So a 500 ml base mix, where you can choose your VG ratio 85, 70 or 60. So let's go with the 85, $4.99. So what's that, 21 pounds so far, thereabouts? So on top of that, then it's just your nicotine. So 7.2% nicotine, $15.99 for 250 ml. Not bad at all. So 15, so what did I say? $15.99 for that. So 21, 36, 37 pounds will give you 500 ml of liquid plus some extra, a buttload extra nicotine, and a little bit extra PG/VG base mix as well. So that's not bad. If you're someone that goes out and spends 16 quid on a bottle of juice for like 30 ml, then 500 ml for whatever I just said, what did I say, 37 quid, something like that? That's not bad, is it? my figures might be wrong. I'll put all the links down below, but that's a cheap way of doing things. I'm really looking forward to mixing up this Nemesis, to be honest with you. I think that's going to be really, really good. But yeah, I think I might throw a quick video together about that, just because I think it'll be really useful. But it's really great to see that if you're a DIYer, base mix, fantastic, just makes life ridiculously crazy simple. And also these Darkstar shots, because you know, getting hold of nicotine might be harder, and also if you're a no nicotine kind of person, fucking cheap as chips. What would that be, like 21 quid for 500 ml liquid? Fuck me sideways. Yeah, so new video coming up with all that stuff, and I said I wasn't going to. They sent it all to me anyway, and just so I could try it out. But I think it may be that good that it's going to require its own video. Now then, is there anything else to tell you? This has been a long one, hasn't it? I'm sorry, I've been dribbling on as per usual. Let's have a little look at what I've been watching. Let's have a little vape first. Lovely. Really need a haircut. Alan, yes, I know I need a haircut, mate. Can't get to the hairdressers, so it is what it is. So let's have a little look at what I've been watching. My history on the old YouTube. DotMod Petrie Tank V1 from Vaping with Thesis. Fucking love Vaping with Thesis. If you've not watched him, go and watch him. He's in my recommended videos, which will be over that corner of the page, somewhere like that, I think. Yeah, he just makes me laugh so hard. He's a great guy. Todd's Reviews did the Dome V2, which is definitely not for me. What else have we looked at? We've had a lot of Philip DeFranco, a little bit of Casey Neistat's been doing some bits and bobs. A lot of, iMac stuff. I've got a new computer coming. Whoever says vaping reviews are cheap is lying. Basically what I'm doing is I'm selling one of my project bikes, which I might put a picture up here just if you want to have a look, which is something that I learned to do all my metal work on and all that sort of stuff. The current disability means that I'm unlikely to be able to finish it, so I'm going to sell that as well as a bunch of my workshop gear, all my welders and all that sort of malarkey, in order to fund a new iMac. So I've got a second-hand Wizzy, all singing, all dancing, 5K Retina screen, dedicated graphics card and all that sort of malarkey that is going to be doing all my I'm going to be doing all my processing on, which is going to make my life considerably better, because the reason I've not been doing stuff recently is I've been very poorly still, and thank you very much for all the people that say get well soon. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen, but hopefully we can manage it to be a little bit more livable in the near future. But the next couple of months are going to be pretty hard. That's why I've got some of that action going on at the moment, as well as its spine, legs, everything else. Now, I'm not going to dwell on that, and please don't say nice things and all that sort of stuff. It's a thing. Just, get over it. I've got to get over it, and it'll happen. But that's why my videos have been a little bit up and down recently. Been spending some time in hospital, all that good shit. So the computer is going to help me be able to process stuff quicker. So rather than spending kind of 8 or 9 hours sitting in the studio getting a video out to you guys, hopefully I'll be able to get it out in a couple of hours, which is going to be a lot easier for me. So that's happening. Unfortunately, I've got to sell a bunch of stuff, but that's definitely happening. So anyway, I've been doing a lot of research on Macs and all that good shit, as well as a lot of stuff about cameras and photography and all that jazz. Now the Vaping Bogan's done his review of the Asmodus plaque. Sam, once again, a great guy. What else is going on? The Baywatch film with The Rock in it. What's that all about? Oh, that's happening. That's a thing. New Guardians of the Galaxy, that's coming out. That looks awesome. I've been watching a bit of Unbox Therapy recently. I don't know why. Can't afford anything he reviews, but I've been watching a little bit of it anyway. DSLR video shooter. If you're a videographer or like all that sort of stuff, go and check out DSLR video shooter. Caleb does some fantastic stuff on his channel over there, so go and check that out if you haven't seen it thus far. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's about it. I haven't really got anything super exciting to tell you. Oh, DSLR's just done 3 budget camera microphones under $60. That's very nice. Yes, I think that really is it. Now, I think I'm going to carry on enjoying the crap out of the Crichton on top of the drone for the rest of the day. And then when I go downstairs, I'll be using the Hurricane V2 on the little E-Petite. I've got to say, this E-Petite, I think this review will be coming out next because it's just a great little mod, and I think it looks fucking lovely. So yeah, that one will be coming out next, I think. But all in all, I think I've covered it all. So if you're still with me at this point, fucking fair play to you. That's, you know, well done. This has been a little bit scattier than normal, I think. But never mind. Anyway, can I say anyway again? Anyway? Anyway. Jazz. I will see you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Dean the Vaping Biker. This has been another rambling. See you on the next one. Have it long!